Hello friends, welcome. Subject name is Accounting for Manager and the topic name is Trading and Profit and Loss Account and Balance Sheet. The practical problem and the solution number and the problem number 2. So in this video we will discuss how to prepare the trading accounts and profit and loss account and how to prepare the balance sheet of an individual firm with the help of certain numerical. This is the trial balance of Mr. Johnson and prepare the trading accounts, profit and loss accounts and balance sheet for the year ended 31st March 2014. So we have an entire trial balance of Mr. Johnson's Private Limited or whatever the company name is. So this is the firm trial balance and we have to prepare the trading account, then profit and loss account and balance sheet for the year ended. First we go with this trial balance and then start preparing the trading and profit and loss account. So we start from the debit side. So the debit side, cash in hand is given 6,000, the cash at bank is given 12,500, purchase is 78,500, sales return is given 2,000, wages has paid 8,000, salaries is 12,500, advertising expense 3,000, insurance expense 1,100, furniture is given 12,000, opening stock 40,000, machinery is 35,000, debtors amount is 23,000, carriage inward is 1,000. The carriage inward, when you bring goods into the business to purchase goods and you paid freight to bring goods to the business, this freight is called carriage inward. And the vice versa, when you send goods to outside your business as a selling purpose, so the freight which is called carriage outward, which is given 1,500, and the rent and taxes amount is 2,500, and these are the expenses. Drawings means the personal withdrawal from the business. The promoter or the owner of the business has withdrawn some amount from the business, which is called drawings, which is 4,800, and the bills receivable is 9,000. Come to the credit side, we have a sales of rupees 1,32,000. The capital amount is 95,000. Purchase return is 1,000. Interest is 900 rupees. Creditors is 10,000. Bills payable 11,500, and the discount is 2,000. So the both side must be matched. That's why this is called trial balance. The both side must be matched, which is 2,52,400. Now the both side is matching. So this is the information we have, and basis of this information we have to prepare the trading account and the profit and loss account, and at last we have to prepare the balance sheet for the Mr. Johnson's Private Limited, whatever the company name, Private Limited is not there. So first we prepare the trading accounts. So there's some additional information, adjustment entries information is given. So we get just value of stock as on 31st March 2014 is 37,000. So value of stock is there. This is the closing stock actually, and outstanding wages is 1,200, salaries is 2,900, prepaid expenses, prepaid insurance is 450, and the depreciate furniture by 5% and the machinery by 10%. So we have to calculate the furniture depreciation and the machinery depreciation by 5 and 10% from their actual amount. And write off bad debts rupees for 2,000. So we have to write off the 2,000 rupees bad debt, means we have to decrease the 2,000 amount from the bad debts account because this amount is not recoverable. That's why we have to write off. And the provided bad debts reserve is 5%. So we have to create one more thing, so bad debt reserve by 5% of the total amount. So these are the entries we have to adjust in preparing the trading and profit and loss and balance sheet. So we start preparing the trading account. So the trading and profit and loss account of Mr. Johnson for the year ending 31st March 2014. There's a two side, debit side and credit side. Left is debit, right is credit. The format is as same as we have discussed. The particular amount. There's a two amount column is here for the just rough work we have do in the first column, and the final amount will go to the next amount column. So we start from the debit side. to trading accounts. We start with the opening stock. Opening stock is 40,000. Purchase is there, which is 78,500. We have to reduce the return amount of the purchase, which is 1,000. So the total amount of purchase is 77,500. We have to reduce or less the amount of purchase return. The final amount is 77,500. And wages is given 8,000. We have to add the outstanding, some amount which is outstanding not paid, so that amount is 1,200, and the final wages is 9,200. Now the carriage inward amount is 1,000. So these are all expenses, purchase and the opening stock for the debit side. Now we have to go to the credit side, and the first thing is we have to write it here, sales. So the sales is 1,32,000 as the trial balance showing, and we have to reduce the sales return amount, which is also given in the trial balance. The sales return is 2,000, so the final sales is 1,30,000. So the final sales is 1,30,000. And now the closing stock, we have to get this information from the adjustment information. The closing stock is given there, which is 37,000. So we have to put these things here. Now the trading accounts is complete. We have to calculate the gross profit. So the credit side is greater than the debit side. So that's why 1,67,000 is the credit side. Now we have to make balance both sides. So the credit side is greater. So we have to deduct the amount which is debit side, and we get the gross profit. So by this way we got the gross profit, which is 39,300, and we have to write it to the debit side. So both sides must be balanced. So by this way we get the final answer, which is gross profit is 39,300. We have to transfer that amount to the profit and loss account to prepare the profit and loss and get the net profit. So we transfer to the credit side. So the gross profit is 39,000 transferred to the credit side to the profit and loss account. Now we have to write down all expenses which are related to the admin, office and the sales and distribution expenses in a profit and loss account, and then finally we will get the net profit. So start from the salary. The first expense is 12,500, and the sum amount of salary which is outstanding, which is 2,900, which is given in the trial balance. So we'll add this amount in its total salary amount. So the total salary expense is 15,400. Now the insurance is given 1,100, and the sum information is given. Prepaid insurance is 450. So prepaid insurance is not an expense for this year, because this year it is a asset for the firm. Next year it will be a expense for the firm. So this year we treat it as a asset of the firm. So we reduce from this total amount, which is 1,100. The final amount of insurance is 650, which is the expense in the name of insurance, the final amount of insurance expense. Now come to the advertisement. The next expense is 1,500. Carriage outward is 2,500. Rent and taxes is 2,000. Bad debts is given 1,150. Bad debts reserve is there 600. And the depreciation on furniture, we have to calculate this amount, depreciation on furniture. So furniture amount, whatever is given in the trial balance, so from there we have to calculate the furniture amount, depreciation on furniture amount as per the percentage of depreciation. That is same thing we'll do with the depreciation on machinery. So the final amount is 3,500. So these are all expenses which is come to the debit side. Now go to the credit side. We have a gross profit which is come through the trading accounts. Now the interest is one kind of earning, so we'll add to the credit side 900, and discount is another earning which is go to the credit side 2,000 rupees. So these are other incomes which is not included in the gross profit. So we'll add it, which is 42,200. All the profit, total profit, gross profit including other income is 42,200. Now we'll reduce all the expenses which is incurred, and which is we have put it in a profit and loss account. So there's a debit side is lesser than the credit side, so we have to reduce that amount, then we will get the net profit, and that by this way we will make balance from both sides. So the net profit is 11,900 after deducting the all expenses amount from the credit side amount, which is 42,200. so the net profit is 11,900, and the both side must be matched. So the both 42,200 is a debit side amount as well as the credit side amount. Now this is the method to prepare the trading and profit and loss account from the trial balance. Now we will prepare the balance sheet from the same information. So the balance sheet of the Mr. Johnson's enterprise. Now the balance sheet format is liability amount, asset amount. We are using two amount column for the initial calculation purpose. The final amount will go to the next column, so don't be confused with that. But the format is liability asset, liability amount, asset amount. So we start from the liability side. The creditors is given 10,000. Bills payable amount is given in trial balance, which is 11,500. There's outstanding something. Wages outstanding is 1,200. Salaries is outstanding is 2,900. These are the amount which is not paid. That's why we put in the liability sides. So wages outstanding, salary outstanding. So these amount as paid, put it as a liability. Now the capital is given in a trial balance is 95,000. We have to add the profit amount into the capital, so it will become a 1,06,900, the final capital amount. There are some drawings from the promoters of the business or the owner of the business. So the drawing is we have to reduce that amount from the capital, because that capital amount drawn by the business owner. So the business has to reduce that amount from their capital. So the 4,800 is a drawing, so we will reduce that amount. So the final amount is 1,02,100. So the final capital is 1,02,100. So by this way we have written all the liability sides entries. Now go to the asset side. Now the asset side, we start from the liquid asset to the long term asset or fixed assets. So the first we start from the cash in hand. Cash in hand is given 6,000. Cash at bank is 12,500. Closing stock given an adjustment entry, which is the asset of the firm, it's 37,000. Debtors is given 23,000. We have to reduce the bad debts amounts of the debtors, which is 2,000. So the final amount is 21,000. We have created reserve for the debtors also, so that amount also will be reduced from the debtors account, because that amount will not be recoverable or maybe not recovered in future. So that's why we have to reduce from the asset, because that amount is not going to be realized. So we have to reduce that amount, which is 1,150. So the final debtors amount is 19,850. Now the furniture is given 12,000. We have to reduce the depreciation amount from there. So the depreciation is 600. So the final furniture value is 11,400. As this is the next is machinery. Machinery is given 35,000. We have to reduce the depreciation amount from there, which is 3,500. The 10% of the machinery, total machinery value. So the final value of the machinery is 31,500. And we have a prepaid insurance is one kind of asset for the firm for this year only. So the prepaid insurance is 450, and the bills receivables amount is 9,000, which is a part of debtors. So this is the way we have to calculate the all assets and the liability. Now the both side must be equal, both side must be matched to each other. That's why this is the called balance sheet. So we have to calculate all the sides. The liability side is 1,27,700, and the asset side also is 1,27,700. If the both side is not matching, means that we have did some mistakes, whether it is in a journal entry, ledger posting, trial balance preparation, or in trading and profit and loss accounts, because the final error will be reflect in a balance sheet. If you lose the error rectification in somewhere in last steps, the final error must be reflect in a balance sheet. So you have to be very careful at the time of preparing ledger, posting, and the trial balance and the preparation of trading and profit and loss account, because your error must be reflect if it is there in a balance sheet. So the both side of the balance sheet must be matched. So this is the practical problem or practical illustration of the trading and profit and loss account and the balance sheets, which is the second problem. Thank you very much.